Hello, everyone, and welcome to this broadcast that we are having here from Manilei, partly in return for a hangout that we were planning to do with a few of you. But instead, because technology failed us at that time, we've decided to do this little 15-minute seminar now, where I'm going to quickly get to the point and explain about how to give and how to get the best labor care support while you're going through labor. I think most people can agree that as partners or supporters through somebody else's labor, we often feel a little bit unsure about what's best to do. And for those of you that are doing this for the very first time, you probably find it hard to, at least before the labor starts, to gauge very much what is it that is going to be the most helpful tool or trick. So without spending any time on antenatal class as such, I am going to hope that all of you have either done or will do such a class to understand the whole process of labor. I'm going to point out a few tips and tools for at home and a few tips and tools for once you're in hospital. And what is important to understand before anything else, as a labor supporter, is that the concept of time is very, very important to understand. If it's a first-time mother who's giving birth, quite likely it will take some time to go through the labor process. It's not like on TV. It quite likely will take not 2 or 3 or 4 hours, but more like 10, 15, 20 hours. Not of huge pain or anything like that, but the process takes time. And as time is passing, labor also progresses. So essentially, one trick you need to just have is understand that as long time passes and there is nothing in the way, nobody is horribly scared or going through huge anxieties, and the woman is eating and drinking and moving and resting, time passes, labor progresses. It's very important to understand. The other thing is, if you're a man or a woman, but you are the one that is not giving birth but supporting, trying to figure out something that you have in your own experience bank that can relate to a long journey like labor might possibly be, i.e., if there's anything physical, a sports event or a hike or a marathon or a long bicycle race, anything that takes long, more than 2-3 hours, that basically tests your endurance 2 or 3 or 4 times, that you've gone through these lows of feeling, well, why did I even do this? And the highs of course, it's fantastic. I chose to do it and I like it. If there's any such experience that you can relate to, it will also be easier for you to relate to once your laboring woman is going through her lows and her highs. It will make more sense. And it will make more sense why you support her through her lows, instead of just saying, oh, let's just get the baby out. Let's just do a C-section or get some drugs that are perhaps at some point needed, but perhaps not at that time. And I think most people who have never done birth, it's hard for them to grasp the concept of the soul fully. And you've got to look at it not so unlike what if it was a stomach flu, where right in the middle of vomit or being at the toilet, you can't make any decisions. You just got to let something pass, and you go back into bed, you have a little sip of something, you relax, and you realize it will just take some time, but it will go away. Except for labor has much, much better rewards. So again, I'm going to say one more thing before I get to the tools. Also ask, who are you and who is your partner? Don't try and change either of you. Don't try and be somebody else or read the manual. Here's what I need to do in labor. Just, who are you? Who is she? How do you normally collaborate? Is humor a part of your dialogue? Is it not at all? Is it more very analytical? Statistics? Are you people who are very physical? Do you like to move, or are you the calm types? What about music for each one of you? Can you use those things that in your daily routine and your daily lives make life happier, better, more fun, easier to go through. This is exactly what you continue in labor. You try not to look at labor as anything different from that. So, breathing is always going to be a big part of labor. So anyone who understands and can do a little bit of breathing pattern, slightly more calm, relaxing than the normal breathing that we have, is going to be helpful. Most women in labor, they end up with a bit of a posture like that. But what you want is shoulders down, face relaxed, no wrinkles, tongue behind your upper teeth, jaws relaxed, shoulders down. And then if you manage to, put a hand on shoulder, do a nice downward breathing that is very similar to diving or swimming, usually instant calm, instant feeling of, oh, that's good. So a partner, if you can do this, you can also help your partner to do it. So both of you should be practicing. It's nothing more complicated than this. So through the whole process, at home and in hospital, breathing, number one. Then, and in both hospital and home, through the whole process, you want to be able to be mobile somewhat, move around, and that might be sitting like me. I'm now sitting on this ball here, moving, bouncing. It could be that, or it could be standing, leaning against something, or it could be lying down. It could be kneeling on the floor. And for example, if you're at home in your living room, one good thing to do is to go onto the sofa or onto the board and just do a little bit of a relaxed mobility position at home at night. And then use this in labor. If you're the labor partner, you will then provide some massage on the lower back. On each contraction having something pressing on there is really, really good. Practicing this at home before is great, but use during labor. On the board, on the sofa, close to your bed if that suits, anywhere that is appropriate. In hospital, this changes to a hospital bed. So you've got a bed, and instead of being on the floor, you might lean onto it like this. You might move your legs. You might sit on the bed for a while, but you don't want to be in that for very, very long. You could go onto to all fours on the bed. Yeah, like this. You can come off it again and lean, and someone will massage your back. So as a partner, you work with these positions wherever you are. Then, I'll get to the massage in a minute. The actual moving about is helpful, but lying down every now and again and resting in between, remembering that this is a journey, time needs to pass, so moving, lying down, moving, lying down. It will be helpful. And like any other journey, particularly a physical one, if you always make sure that there's food, drink, and toilet, these three things will help to progress things faster and better. Most laboring women forget this. Most partners forget it too. They're not reminded by anything. So you need to kind of put it on your list. Breathing, massage, positions, toilet, drinking, eating. Then sometimes, because again, it's a journey, it's time that needs to pass, changing the atmosphere of the room. Putting on the salsa music, putting on the slow music, even just things like turn off the lights. That will help. Just a different ambience of everything. And if that's not good enough, maybe take yourself out of the room and for a little walk. At some point, the contractions, they will be so strong that staying at home doesn't feel like a suitable thing to do. And then it's a good idea to take all of what you've done at home, take these positions into the hospital. Do the same thing, even if it's now a bed that is slightly less space around and maybe limitations around in terms of how far you can move, because someone who's giving birth is usually attached to a monitor on and off. But then be creative and resourceful in on the knees on the bed, leaning against it like I showed you before, rolling on the ball if you've got such a ball, which most hospitals do nowadays, and then focusing even better on the breathing and the meditation. Think about diving or swimming and 4 things. You want your face, you want your tongue, jaws, and your shoulders to be relaxed. So I always think eyes, you close your eyes, roll them back a little bit, stick the tongue behind your teeth, relax the jaw, relax the shoulders, and then the breath is like diving. Three breaths like that, again and again. And put a hand on the shoulder, you remind of, look, it's a slow downwards breathing. Face is relaxed, jaws is relaxed. You continue with that for as long as you can. And then you think of it as circuit training. In the sense that now we're on the bed. Now we're off the bed. Now it's the toilet. Now we focus more on the breathing. Let's put the volume of the music up. Let's put it down. Let's turn on the lights. Let's turn off the lights. Let's get back on the bed. Let's have some food. And if you look at the clock, time will have passed. 1 centimeter is dilated. Next round. Take it like that. And then you add all of the humor that I mentioned before, or the interaction that you normally have in between you. TENS machines and hot packs are 2 also things that are really helpful to use. That you basically put the hot pack in the microwave or in hot water and you press it on the lower half of the back. Same thing with TENS machines. You can rent them and stick them on the back and use through labor. Or once you're in hospital, they will give you one if you haven't rented one, and use during the contractions and in between. And if this is not being used or you want to take a break, then the massage, the direct massage, is helpful. Now, I'm not going to show it in detail now. That might be a subject of the next one. But basically, the way I always think of when I'm trying to describe it, the best way is to think of the lower half of the back and the upper half of the buttocks as you are kneading dough. So it's you're not sticking your fingers in. You're not going too hard. You're just kneading dough. And like comfortable but firm. And whoever is in labor needs to say how firm she wants it to be or not firm. And as you go through further, there will be more directed or more focused, attention on certain areas. Like some women really like pressure massage at the very, very lowest of the spine. Other people like the hips hugged, like that, through a contraction, and then relax. But keep it simple. Don't be too firm, and don't be too fast. Just nice and quite firm, focused on the soft areas, and then maybe with some pressure, depending on what your partner wants. If bath and shower are available in the hospital, it's great to use, but it's usually not. So remember, while you're at home, until you have these 5 minutes apart contractions or so, if you want to use bath and shower, it's a great pain relief. It's also a great way to just relax and calm down. And when you come to the hospital, instead of resenting what's not there, you may have to think, okay, I at least use that at home, so it's fine. But around me, I have a bed that can move, a ball I can sit on, TENS machine, a hot pack, my partner. And between the 2 of you, you need to just make the most of this. Or if you cannot, I hope hope this is helpful. We'll go into more details next time, and or if I see you here in the clinic one day, I'm sure half of the ones that are looking at this are people I'm anyway seeing. So I'll show you more and teach you more once we are more face to face. Thank you all for listening.